Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome to the latest from the review. I do hope you're all well. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I'm sorry if my voice sounds kind of northern at the moment. I'm clearing some of my relatives and people I've been interacting with in life due to the nature of the DNA and It's Almighty resolving itself. I wanted to let you know that Eliseas is rising at the moment. Eliseas is rising. Okay, so when Eliseas rises, it wants to be entertained. And so far, the majority of the time, it appears to be Satanist. Okay, so what I've been observing is the potential for pitchforkers, which I've seen walking down the road, fire and flame, brimstone, going for people that celebrate witchcraft. Okay, so you're looking at, let's see, Wicca is a big one. They also go for Christians. Okay, so people turn up at the door and ask you questions. And so they say things like this, what religion are you? Or have you read this? And they'll be asking you about the Bible. Okay, not to scare anyone, but this is happening. So when I go public and I speak about it, it stops it from happening, okay? For some people, it's going on all the time. They can't even notice it. And it just looks like normal life. For me, it's very deep. I'm very sensitive to energy. So I hear people screaming and shouting in the streets. I see them behaving very oddly. I've seen people go in and out of shops without coronavirus masks on and people just serving them, even though they're wearing one. I've got pictures of Eliseas Rising and Gloria and Form, which is when the clouds start to show faces. Okay, so it can get really intense. It's extremely biblical at the moment and very dramatic. Jehovah is down. Okay, so it's wonderful. At the same time, because of this, everyone gets accused of the deepest sin, which is trying to be a twin flame so that we can all be sacrificed to Satan, which is really stupid. Now, I know it sounds really intense, okay, but talking about it makes it better. The subconscious mind will attempt to form before you the offence due to the nature of the DNA and have you opposed so you become immortal to it. What we don't want is it happening. Okay, so I've been speaking to the government at a very high level about this and we're moving through, and it's really important at this time that you don't judge anyone. Okay, that you stay calm, all right? Alcohol will help you because as Eliseas rises, it makes you feel like you're out of your body. It's almost like an ethereal review, except Eliseas can be seen as a prancer. Okay, so it's a wonderful, wonderful energy, and it's very, very loyal and faithful to the Creator. But it's also intense because there's so much negativity on the earth. So what you need to do is consider lowering your vibration to raise the vibration up, and then look at balancing yourself, okay? So you lower your vibration. You can eat things like meat, or dark greens will help you as well. So iron, red wine, potatoes. Potatoes are good for your cerebral cortex. It's also good for the spine, and the removal zone would be, okay? So people start to come across a bit odd. It could be that you're moving through and you're seeing and saying, my God, what is going on with people? Consider that they're not offending you and they may well be going for someone else. If instead of seeing the mirror, you can see it both ways, that it is and it isn't, and simply is occurring, then really there's no problem. They do go for me a lot though. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, my God, this is really intense. And I'm simply investigating it and looking at how many times people have judged other people and then blamed me for it and been in discussion about my life. And so when people sit there interfering with others' lives, and this could be seen as interfering now, right now, except my intention is only to advise those who follow me supportively, understand the nature of energy, are professionals, okay? And you may not have a teaching job at the moment, but you come across like that, you're very good at it, okay? And those who really want to help others that are in the lower planes or even in the higher planes, and they're seen as the government in review. We have to understand this is an ascension cycle. Not everything you see is opposite, okay? So just because people aren't speaking about ascension through the government does not mean they're oppositional. There are speakers such as myself, and there are others like David Wilcock and Corey Good, and there are whistleblowers, and not to put myself on the same level as them and put myself on a pedestal. I'm not saying this, not that they are. I mean, they're very famous in my view, but I would say this. There are people out there that are speaking, okay? Now, if we're still looking at us versus them, I'd be considerate at this time. It may well protect you, and that's the way the old Earth review was. Also, some would say the new Earth is not that different, okay? So we could say this. It could be many people are living their lives in many ways, all right? But when it gets very intense, the energy, you start to see, especially with third eyes open. So I don't want to scare anybody. I just want to make it very clear to become mindfully aware. And if you know yourself how to deal with your subconscious without offending you or someone else, then do it, okay? So you're looking at relative programming, And you're also looking at how the body is forming itself. Sorry, someone's trying to break through. Sorry about that. Hold on. And my name is a holy name, Jehovah. Okay, so I love Jehovah. I'm not saying it's my name personally. I'm supporting God anywhere that there's been a God embodiment, that it would be that he can be free always, and it is always free. All right, so, and my name is a holy name. God bless me. God bless Jehovah, okay? And it is. And it's not that I've gone into extremism, Christianity, per se in review. I've always loved the church. And since I was very young, I actually went out to the church all by myself to get involved with the choir. And then I put on special robes and sung. It was really wonderful. So out to my church, and that one was in, I think it was, what road was it? I can't remember it, but it's where I used to live anyway when I was younger. It was wonderful. Anyway, we're just having a glass of wine and talking about Eliseas Rising. Thank you. Okay, we believe that the public should be aware of this at the point that they're received and have been called forward by God to listen to it, because they are mature enough to process through, knowing that they can, right? So, breath work, meditation. Okay, if it starts to get deep, try to keep it cool. Okay, so if people go knock on the door, you don't have to. You don't have to answer it. It doesn't matter who it is, because some people are from other dimensions and not necessarily for you. If you know you're rising yourself and your third eye's open and it's starting to form your subconscious in front of people, perhaps you could do some inner work right now and breathe and work with your soul, work with yourself, work with your highest self respectfully, and ask where you can assist without interfering or offending anyone, and also understanding it's not everyone's lesson to see it. I mean, I'm not looking for anything. I'm observing as my process naturally unfolds, and all I've seen is offensiveness, because people would not stop bitching about me at school because they didn't like the fact that I was open about my life and free and loved to be around people. Right, so they didn't like the fact I was pretty. They didn't like the fact that I liked to socialize. They didn't like the fact that I knew many people. They didn't like the fact I hung around with boys and it made me look like a philanderer. And these relationships were platonic. Isn't it wonderful? Not every relationship was platonic, but, you know, no different from anyone else. Okay. If you've been experiencing bombs going off and the earth exploding, these are your timeline review points that are leaving you now. Okay, for some people it cycles again and it starts to feel really intense. It is serving your body, it's supporting you. Remember that you can call into your teams and ask to help, and never offensively. I believe all should be protected until we get to the bottom of whatever's going on, and that is helping us solve the coronavirus. And if that itself is not even known in your reality, I'm sure that it won't even manifest. For me, it is. Okay, so it's just another cycle of us moving through pestilence. Okay, and then at that point, there is none. All right, so identifying again, understanding the nature of the capacity and why it's relevant and why it's not. It's not necessarily. Okay, so we'd say this. It's only me, it's only me, it's only me, and apparently I want to destroy myself again. We say this, absolutely not. I'm not running around with a pitchfork trying to arrest Christians and have them burnt alive at the stake. The problem with Eliseas, it gets so dramatic sometimes, and it's always offensive because it's asking of you to see that there is none. The thing is, it's always offensive, right? And of course it is. On the other side of things, you'd say this. Someone offering me a chocolate button is not offensive at all. Their intention could be to slay you. As simple as that. They may be thinking, I want to take your goldfish out for a walk and do one. Okay, so it can happen in many ways, and that's due to the fourth dimension. We'll say fourth dimension, astral in review, and the ethereal planes. Okay, and so this is how it is. I'm going to stop right now and offer you a clearing. All right, so if you would like to, after you turn this off, it will come to you, and hopefully you'll feel better after it. I would say this, you definitely will, but if you're still processing layers, it may be that you feel a bit wobbly. So drink some water, grounding would be nice. Also, prayer, asking for forgiveness, loving, being positive and balanced too, and also being yourself. Okay, and this is it. All right, I'm sending you so much love, so much love, so much love, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, take care for now. Bye-bye.